2, 1. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another exciting film journey here on Delusions of Grandeur. I am one of your hosts, but today we are starting the Halloween season a little late, but we decided to start out since see. Tammy was last week where we went on about the Haunting remake, and I decided to go on about a film that was filmed in 2013 by James DeMonaco, or I think it's actually pronounced DeMonaco, but a film
Okay, you
called
butcher everyone's name.
The Purge. And the film stars Ethan Hawke,
Adelaide Kane.
Lena Headey, Adelaide Kane, and Max Burkholder. Which, to be honest, I actually did not know this, but the Purge is actually based on actual events from Roman times.
That's surprising.
Based on real event. Yes, because let's see, it was called a week-long event, and it was called Saturnalia. It took place in 217 BC. But of course, according to James DeMonaco, the famous road rage incident awakening. The idea for the Purge happened like this. He and his wife were driving on the freeway when a drunk driver cut them off, nearly killing them. So, but the Saturnalia, that went from, I believe it was, let me look it up here real quick. Saturnalia, it went from December 17th to the 23rd. And people could do anything they frickin' wanted, which when it had everything to do with drinking to murder. So, that being said, let's see what IMDb says about The Purge. Real fast. So,
you guys know I have a book published?
Huh?
You guys know I had a book published?
Oh, this had a book published?
I have a book published.
Oh, you had a book published?
Yes.
Cool. A wealthy family is held hostage for harboring the target of a murderous syndicate during the Purge, a 12-hour period in which any and all crime is legal.
No, 24. It said 24 hours.
It was 12 hours. But let's go over to Boris. Was this a first-time watch for you?
Yes, it was my first time watching this movie, and it was really very interesting. My favorite genre is horror, but I do also like thrillers quite a bit. And this one was really very thrilling, very exciting, really keeping me on edge, keeping my attention. it was really good. But one major issue I have with one thing I think is a plot hole in this movie, which really bothered me while watching it, was if this family is supposedly so rich they can afford all the security to stay safe during this so-called purge and all that, how is it possible that they don't have some weaponry they could operate from inside the house that could just shoot an intruder to death before
Because most
be,
people don't have something like that.
yeah,
Most
but
people think they're secure enough with whatever securities they build.
Obviously, he doesn't go out killing. He doesn't want to go out killing things or whatever, so he doesn't really want to kill people. And he figured it was secure enough. They didn't know their dumb son was gonna run some guy in.
Yeah, but still, they know about the purge. They know people go crazy on that night and do all that, and they have so much money they could afford extra security. So I think
Well, he
it's
did have.
a bit
He
illogical.
didn't think he needed any
Did
more.
he didn't think he needed any more than he already had, and he had at least 6 or 7 guns in his cabinet. So it's not that he wasn't didn't have weapons or anything like that. He was not prepared for his son to be stupid. But in any case, uh, uh, are you finished with your first impression, or
I think so.
okay? Tammy, was this the first time watch for you?
No, it wasn't the first time. We watched it before. Um, I don't know. I just really didn't get into these movies that much, but I mean, it was all right, I guess. It just I don't get into the concept of it that well. So,
Is it
but
because you don't think that it is uh, a reality that we could face?
I don't think one night of just being able, 12 hours of being able to do whatever would fix things like the movie claimed it did.
Of course not.
So I don't know. I think, but I
I agree
mean,
with you there, but I wasn't looking at it as in a reality point of view.
was it interesting? Was it exciting and things like that? Yeah, you know. I mean, you weren't bored watching it or nothing, but it's just I don't know. I guess it just didn't really get into it that much because of the concept.
I would call this first installment in the Purge almost like a home invasion movie. You know, and it was the first, installment in the universe. So, yeah, thinking of it that way, where it's looking at like the view from a family inside the home on this Purge night. What do they do if things go wrong? You know.
Well, I
Uh,
think that's another thing. They should, for all the security and stuff they had, they should have had a fail safe, which would have been a safe room.
I agree with that.
but then you think,
Or instead of that, a tunnel underneath the house so they can get out like far away, going to like a bunker or something. That'd be cool.
yeah,
And
that
the
was
bunker
the.
have all kinds of guns and stuff.
But when I think about safe rooms, I also think about the movie Panic Room. So I don't know if any of you have actually seen that. That's with Jodie Foster,
No.
and she bought a house that had a really fucking badass panic.
Uh,
Tribute to first responders. Together, Bright Light and Folds of Honor are expanding our 13-year partnership with the
You were going to say something, Boris?
scholarships for their families. These scholarships will support families of fallen or disabled first responders, ensuring their dreams can still be realized.
Were you going to say something, Boris?
Families of fallen or disabled first responders. See how we can help you at budlight.com/folds of
All right. Heading over to Kroll. Was this the first time watch for you? I can't hear you if you're speaking, Kroll. Hello. Can anybody hear me?
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Okay. What about you, Kroll? Okay. I guess we'll continue at least until. Okay. Maybe Kroll's audio conked out, but so let's see. The character of James Sandon, he appears to be a security detail dude who evidently put in a whole bunch of new security systems for a gated community that he lives in, and used the money for that gated community that he stuck the whole entire system in to add on more securable extensions to his own home. Kroll, well, what was this a first time watch for you?
Yep.
Okay, and what were your thoughts on it?
I liked it. I always, when I first heard about the concept, I heard it from the TV show, and I thought that was kind of an interesting idea for a TV show. I did not know that there was a book, a movie that the TV show was based on before. But yeah, I thought it was good. And Ethan Hawke, he kills it. He's great. It's the second movie recently that I watched with him in it. And he's awesome. He's a great actor. And Adelaide Kane, I've probably seen her in a few things, but I don't know. I just really kind of noticed her here, and I looked her up, and
She played
yeah,
Drizella. She played Drizella in Once Upon a Time.
who?
Drizella,
What's a Drizella?
One of Cinderella's sisters in
Okay,
Once Upon a Time.
that's not Drusilla.
They called her Drizella.
Okay. Yeah, I read that she was in Once Upon a Time. Of course, I didn't know who she played, but since you told me, but yeah, I really noticed her here, and I'm like, wow, she's pretty incredible. I looked her up on Instagram and stuff because it says she actually has a huge following, and she likes to try as much as she can to interact with fans and stuff. So I followed her on Instagram and stuff. But yeah, I really liked her, and the mother, I can't think of her name, but I know I've seen her in things too.
Lena
She's good.
was in Game of Thrones.
And yeah, so she's pretty good. The kid did fine. The boy, I don't remember seeing him in anything, but yeah, he was fine. I thought the premise was interesting, something a little bit different than the usual stuff, and they actually didn't call this a thriller; they called it a sci-fi on Wiki or on something that I read. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call it a sci-fi at all. It was kind of a thriller, more of a, like you said, a home invasion type thing. I'd like to see. I'm sure with the television show, they probably don't just do like a home invasion thing. That would get boring after a while. So they probably go all out places and stuff.
They kind of placed the television show like almost in the pre dawning beginning parts of where they placed the Purge. I know this film was done in 2013, but they set this home invasion storyline up in 2022. Believe it or not that far off from the year that they actually brought it out in. And 2022 is already passed. So that's something that Tammy and I kind of noticed. That I didn't realize it was in 2022. I didn't either.
I'm not either. I didn't even notice.
Yep. So I think one of the plot lines is actually more that they should have like put it like a lot further into the future. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the plot line to me.
Plot hole.
Plot hole, yes. That to me is a plot hole because it didn't take us that long to get to 2022, and now we're discussing it a year later. And did a purge happen? No. So, I also think that were you done with your first impression then? Crow?
Yep.
Okay. I also think that this particular film is politically charged because I legitly got into a discussion with someone online who was a Democrat and literally spouted off on her page that this particular purge was put together by the Republicans, and this was the this was the way the Democrats should go. And I had no problems arguing with her that you know what, them if you really think this way, bye bye. You know.
So she was saying.
I didn't really know her that well, and she was friends with you remember Mark from Hardy's. I guess she was friends of theirs, and she didn't seem to care about having me on the page, and I didn't seem to care about her thoughts on things. But she thought that in every sense of the word that the government that was in the purge was exactly what the Republican Party was. So I disagree with that.
Wait, sorry, I didn't understand. Was she saying that the purge would be a good idea in real life, or what was she trying to say? I
Yes,
don't
she was.
understand.
She thought that it would be a fine idea. She was stating that this is what the Democrats should do next. You know, these are things that she was stating on her page. That this movie was it was definitely a statement regarding the political times of the time. So, but that being, and I do think that in a sense, yes, this franchise, because there were 4 movies that happened before the show even existed.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I know that.
This franchise basically was kind of going with the politically charged times that were happening every single day, and I think that's why it's lasted that long, is because people are unhappy, you know, and some wish that they could go out and just take care of some of the bad seeds out there.
Bad things can't fight back.
Which might be a good thing in the end, but maybe a bad thing. So, but anyways, we have this family
A lot of innocent people get killed.
Yep. Innocence, yes. And I guess you could say that this was a rich family because he was making money off of installing security uh, 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 um, security systems that supposedly work. That supposedly work enough for people to feel safe. Okay.
Well, would have worked for his dumb son. He didn't count on his
Doesn't
dumb
mean
son.
that it's 100% a thing.
Nothing's 100%.
No, nothing will ever be 100%, no matter what people do. If somebody wants to get in your fucking house, they will get in your fucking house.
It would have been 100% if they had done what I said in the beginning.
I don't
Wrong.
believe that
Nothing's 100%.
Nothing is 100%. You
If
cannot tell me that you can make something 100% in any
if
way.
they had the weapons they could fire from inside the house, they could have shot all the intruders to death, and
Yeah, but
they
then
would have been safe.
how much weapons? Well, how much do weapons cost?
Probably not so much that such a family couldn't afford it. They were supposedly extremely rich, weren't they?
Who said that?
We don't
They had
know.
money. I don't think they were extremely rich.
I mean, I know people who have these houses that look like extremely well looking on the outside, and yet if you go inside it, holy fuck, do they make it look like they lived in it? Houses can look deceiving on the outside, and people can look as rich as other people see them to be, but in the long run, sometimes they're not as rich as they say.
Well, I'm talking about this particular family in the movie. How were they rich? These neighbors who attacked them, in the end, they attacked them because they envied them for their money, from what I understood.
No. They, the son ended up allowing a man that they were hunting inside their home, and they gave them an amount of time to bring him out there. It's just the first problem they had was trying to find this man that had been let into their home, because all of a sudden he disappeared, and they didn't know where he was. And then they started listening to these people who showed up at their home, and they recognized that they actually supported the Purge, but they were hiding uh, 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 someone who they were after, and they wanted him or else. It wasn't because they were rich. The end people,
No,
the
yeah,
end people who ended up killing the others were after them because they were rich.
that's what I was saying from the beginning. The neighbors who attacked them in the end. That was what I said.
Okay, there I understand stand, but yeah, they thought that they were getting rich off them for no reason, and they see. I don't understand that they were getting they were getting their securities, and so were they. Uh, it's someone having more money than you should not hold any kind of thought process over your situation. To me, I'm not one of those who think, okay, because someone earned their money, that means I have rights to it too. Everyone has to earn their own way in this life. I mean, there is a process to getting money, and a lot of it is by earning it yourself and getting there by your own.
Bravo.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. The only point I was trying to make was that the Sandins were a rich family, and they could have afforded more security for the night of
They
the
could have,
purge.
but they chose not to because they didn't want to get involved in the purge activities. So they thought they had enough weapon power and security to keep them out, and they would have if the son wasn't so stupid and let that man in. Unfortunately, the son has had no experience with this. It seemed like the son had no experience with the purge at all, because if they had had a purge, an annual purge from years before,
I think they had needed. The kid just was too young to fucking actually get it.
well, number one, I would have never allowed my son to have access to the whole fucking thing. He had the access codes. You know, you know.
Mm,
But we have the daughter who is going out with an older guy that the father doesn't like, and when this purge
I
happens,
knew he was gonna try to kill him. I figured that. I was like, yeah, he's gonna try to kill him.
the first time that I saw this, I didn't know that he was going to.
I did. I was like, yeah, he's gonna try to kill him.
Well,
I
I have a knack for this stuff.
I didn't expect he would try to kill the father. At that point in the movie, I rather experienced the opposite, that he would try to reason with the father, and then the father would go like, "What the hell are you doing in my house?" and shoot him before letting him say anything. That was what I was predicting.
You were wrong.
Yeah, I was wrong.
I was wrong too. When I didn't see this in the theater.
I was right.
I bought it when it first came out to DVD, and took it home. I know that Tammy wasn't impressed with it, but I thought it was an interesting way to look at the world at this moment. You know, would it be kosher to just let everybody like go at it, kill each other, whatnot, for 12 hours, 1 day a year? Would it be? Would it be? You know, that is an interesting concept.
Interesting.
Because
It's fucked up, but interesting.
people kill each other every day.
I
There
get
are
that.
mass killings that keep going on, and they keep getting worse at times. I mean, we just had what was that? That one up in Maine that happened in the United States. Tammy, how many people died in that one?
I think they said 18, and
And did
only
they
a dozen or so were injured.
did they ever figure out why the guy went and did it yet?
As far as I know, that they're still looking for him.
Oh, okay. So they're still looking for this guy who went and killed 18 people, and they don't know why or what his reasons were. I mean, this is stuff that there was just something that that happened recently where two people were killed and 18 were injured. That today, some people said that they were safe during, and you got to understand, when it's more than one person that is killed in an incident, they call that a mass murder. So if it's like maybe two, they call that a mass murder. So which is explainable, you know, understandable. But this stuff happens every day. So if it was said one day, okay, you guys can have 12 hours out of the day to go and fuck shit up, kill a bunch of people, do whatever the fuck you wanted to. There's going to be no emergencies vehicles available to you, no cops. Everything goes. Have at it. And this is a sanctioned thing. What would you do?
Hide.
I would probably try to stay as safe as possible.
And it doesn't matter which country you're in. They would set it up no matter where you are, and then let them have their national purge day. And then you got people like this who are fully brainwashed in this new founding father of America bullshit, where they have the right to murder as they please, and we are reborn, like they're reborn again Christians or some shit like that, which is, I guess I can see why you would think that the Republicans are involved in this, because they started spouting off like they were reborn again. They were fanatics. They acted like fanatics, and there are a lot of right-wing fanatics, but there are a lot of left-wing ones too. So it's kind of like, to me, if it were a politically charged thing, I think it's like a little bit of both sides, in the end, at least to me. But we have this family. We've got Charlie, which is the youngest. He likes to play with electronics, and he's got this thing that makes me think of like that fucking baby crawling thing in Toy Story. That was in the. I don't know if you've ever seen Toy Story, the first Toy Story, but the neighbor kid who I think his name was Billy. The neighbor kid
wasn't it like, Sid?
Yeah, Sid. Yes. Sid had all these like creepy ass toys that he had made from different parts, and this robot thing with a camera that made me think of that particular toy for some reason. I don't know what you guys think. But he made it listen to like old time radio, which I thought was interesting, and whatnot. But he that thing plays a part where he actually helps the guy he let into the house into his hiding spot. The only thing he didn't realize that he was going to put his sister at gunpoint and hurt her a little bit. But the more that the father, James, did to that man, the more his family began to hate him more, because they didn't like what he was turning into. Because, at the beginning of everything, he was against all of this. And yet, the first thing
he was just trying to keep his family alive. Well,
yeah, he was just trying to keep his family alive, and his family didn't fucking understand that a little bit. And she didn't know that her boyfriend Henry was gonna go off on her dad. So yeah, when everything went down, Henry had actually stowed away in the house the boyfriend that we saw making out with her and all that jazz. He was almost going to get to third base when he suddenly like stopped it all by saying, "I want to, fix things with your father."
He might have gone all the way, but instead he wanted to kill her dad.
Well, yeah, I would have gone all the way. I mean,
and then go kill his dad.
But he seemed to be on the up and up at first to me. That he wanted to fix everything. He was bound and determined he was going to talk to the father, but he ended up like pulling the gun on him and shooting at him, and him getting shot instead. But I think the stupidest. Well, I don't blame the child. I don't blame Charlie or Charles for letting the dude in. He had a heart. He he grew up in a house that didn't believe in the shit, and he didn't know the rules. So he let him in, and then the family paid the consequences. And then since the walls were taken down, because that's what the dude came up and said, hey, you have this amount of time to bring out this person that gives us every right to purge. If you do not, we will bring the manpower to bring this house down, and we will get in. That's basically what was pretty much said. And a lot of the problem was finding the dude first. But then once he found him and taped him all up and all that jazz, he couldn't bring himself to do so because of what his family was thinking of him. He was thinking about all that. And then of course that's when he decided that he was going to fight, stand and fight. So he gave his kid a gun. He gave his wife a gun, which was his wife was played by Lena Headey, which if you know her from anywhere, it's from Game of Thrones.
Who she played on Game of Thrones?
The main fucking queen lady.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
I didn't recognize. I knew her. I recognize her, but I didn't really recognize her. Shit, that's her.
Yep.
Wow, she looks so different.
Yep.
She's got a pretty nice body.
Yep.
So remember where she was walking naked and shame.
I'm trying to think because this might have been pre Game of Thrones. When did Game of Thrones?
Well, yeah, of course it was. 2013, definitely pre-Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones was 2011, so this was during.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong.
But what did y'all think about the family members? Did any of you end up liking any of the family?
Yeah.
I liked Charlie and Zoe. At the beginning, I really hated the father. Later on, I came to like him, and he realized he was wrong and tried to make things right. That was when I started to like him. The mother, she was okay, but nothing special. I didn't have any particular opinion of her.
Well, the mother seemed to go along with whatever the husband asked her to do.
Yeah.
So she was kind of like I'll trust you, honey, to do everything. Kind of a woman. And when he gave her a gun, she was like, "Fine, okay, I'll do it." It wasn't until he started doing things to that man that she started putting her foot down and becoming her own person, And when she, but I don't think she knew what she was doing.
Please insert media to continue.
Oops, sorry about that.
I like the whole family.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So, Tammy, what did you think about any of the family members? You haven't spoken up yet.
I thought the father was a little bit too full of himself. I thought the mother went along with whatever. The sister was the daughter was a typical teenager, and I like Charlie. Oh, I think Charlie was just being a kid and trying to figure things out. Loved playing with his, you know, thing that he made, and it was all, he, I did this to it. I did, he was so happy about the improvements he made. I thought that was really neat. So I like Charlie the best.
Okay. What did anyone think about the people that showed up at the house?
Punks. Which ones? The punks or the neighbors?
The punks.
They were just fucking punks and deserved to die.
Yes, pretty much. I didn't really have much else to think about them. Just random ass villains you would shoot to death in a video game.
Well, the main guy, he had some balls, didn't he? To say what he did for being as young as he was.
What exactly are you referring to?
When he came up to the door and basically said all the shit about, how they have every right to purge. Just because you have every right to purge doesn't mean you have to, These people took part of the purge because they wanted to. They because they are killers in reality. That they have that killing gene. Where they had no problem going out. I mean, granted, some of this purge probably started things in people that would have never thought of killing to begin with, and I think that's kind of what the story is about. Is these people were so used to their daily lives that they had not taken part of it yet. They were one of the last families that probably didn't participate. No matter what, it seems like in this purge, whether you want to or not, you're going to purge. And I wonder if that's a concept that has gone throughout the whole entire thing. What do y'all think about the concept of the purge?
I thought it was interesting.
What about you, Boris? Do you think that that this concept could work?
I don't think it would work though.
I think the concept is interesting. Do I support it? No. Do I think it could work? I'm not sure. I'm kind of 50-50 about it. If you listen to what people say in the ending credits, I would say that it brings more harm than good, which can be expected. But generally, I have had my own thoughts and my own moral viewpoint on the whole issue of violence in the world, especially, I must say, in your country, which I do not live there, so I may not know all the details of how things are over there, which is not the way they are over here. We do not really have as much violence as I hear you have over there. But generally, I think that there is so much violence out there in the first place because not sure if you have ever heard of the so-called parable of long spoons, which is a short story that basically shows that we all create our hell on earth by only caring about our own needs and disregarding the needs of others. And that really is what we do in this world. Whenever another person needs something from us, it's normalized to just say no if we don't feel like helping, to invalidate that person's needs only because we don't feel like spending a few minutes of our time helping them, and that results in many people who need something done for them, and everyone turns them down, and they are left unaccomplished, and then they commit some crime out of despair.
Help
And
those who are willing to help themselves.
yeah, well, that's easier said than done, but
Lots of people just want a handout and they don't want to do anything for themselves.
I agree with that sentiment. Most people just want handouts, and unfortunately, there's only like a 15% of people that are really actually don't and can't help themselves. If you can't help yourself to get to a certain place, you know, eh, if someone was like nearby and I had the money to do it, I would give the shirt off my back to help that person. But if I am
I
struggling
mean, you
myself,
got a coating underneath anyways, right?
if I am struggling myself, that's besides the point.
Just
But
kidding.
just because I'm a werewolf doesn't mean, much of anything out there. But if
A
someone
werewolf?
need and I had the money to help them out, sure, I would do so. But in this world, unfortunately, my life comes first.
How much are you gonna help them if giving them money though? You can give a man a fish, you can teach him fish, which is gonna be better.
the point I was trying to make.
If I give the person who needs it the most all my money for my month's rent to help his ass out, and yet I'm stuck without a home, that's not a way to live.
What I was trying to say is if people were generally more cooperative on helping each other achieve what they want or need, then more people would get what they want, more people would feel accomplished, there would be much less anxiety and depression out there, and therefore there would also be less violence because less people would feel like they have nothing to lose by committing crimes.
But then again, you also have the people who do help, and those who accept that help, rely on that help, and then never do anything for themselves.
Exactly.
See, unfortunately, these people have to find out how to live on their own eventually. You can't just keep handing shit out to them. They got to earn their way too. They got to earn their way a way to get back onto their feet. See, do you see what I'm saying there?
Yes.
You can help them out, but only to a certain extent because they've got to be. It's not just a one-way street. It's two ways. You gotta.
Of course, yeah. The point I was trying to make is if enough people were willing to help others just because they can, then they would what they give to other people would also come back to them from other sides.
Oh, you'd like to think so, but I've had many instances where I've helped people out, and it's just me giving and giving and giving, and then I get to see no return.
Yeah, and that's because we society as a whole is not as it should be. But if enough people were as willing to help as you are, then things would be different. The problem is that there is not enough people like you.
Nope, or like those who try to give, and that's the thing. I, I if you know me and if you live nearby, if you needed a ride somewhere, I'll take you. But then again, I also grew up with the whole concept and idea that okay, um, I can give you a ride to this place. No, I do not expect money from you, but um, it does take gas to get somewhere. So even if you give $5 or $10, it's kind of an unwritten law, a law that you give someone something for the help that they give you. You know.
Instead of just
Oh,
expecting a ride all the time and
that's
taking advantage of it.
yeah, that's true.
So there are those
Gas isn't
that
free for Dave, and it shouldn't be free for the person he's giving a ride to.
which is why I stopped giving rides to Dustin because
Yep,
he would just expect them.
I
So,
don't blame you. Been there, done that.
but
Wait, you were giving rides to Dustin from our chat group.
yeah, he would come to expect it. But once
Interesting.
once I put in state, okay, you know what? Here, I can make it easier on you. Let's go to a movie shop. You buy me a movie, and that can be your ride share. You know, he stopped asking me as much. So, to me, I thought it was reasonable.
I
You
thought it
know,
was fair.
I think it's fair. A movie for a ride or something like that. That I didn't care. I mean, but whatever. It is what is. Going on. So, what do y'all think about the guy that they allowed inside the house?
I felt sorry for him, although at first when he appeared, I also thought that he might be deceiving them to let him in, and that once he was in, that he would actually be the one to try to cause some harm. But that
Caused a
wasn't
little
the.
bit of harm. He did cause
Uh,
a little bit of harm. I mean, he disappeared inside the house and then jumped the sister. So,
Well, he was
um,
scared for his life, and I don't think he was really trying to hurt her. He was just trying to not get killed.
but this Charles let him in the house. Don't you think he should be trusting?
I didn't have a problem
Now
with the
that he,
guy. I didn't think he was going to be. I didn't think he was going to be a problem himself. And I think they were lying about him being a bum too, because he was not. He was not dressed like a bum. He seemed to be a lot more intelligent. I'm saying,
he had
smart people can't
military
be
tags
bums.
around his neck.
Yeah. I don't think he was a bum. I think they just didn't like him, or maybe it was a racial thing. I don't know what it was, but I think
I
they were
think
lying
that
about him being a
was
bum.
because
And he actually did have a good heart. He was just trying to survive. But when it came down to it, the family didn't turn him in, so he turned around and helped them.
yep. So I thought that
uh,
that was an interesting thing because at first he was kind of a threat, um, in a sense. He
And I don't
was kind
blame
of.
them for taking off when they started shooting each other either. I would have done the same thing. But he couldn't
I don't blame
exactly
him.
go outside, so he hid.
what did you think about the person that they allowed inside the house, Tammy?
Tammy,
Tammy, are you there?
Tammy got abducted by aliens. Oh, Tammy is just muted.
Tammy, you're muted if you... Tammy, can you hear us?
Tammy,
All right.
hello, your mic is muted.
Well, anyways,
Operation has been completed.
we'll continue with so ultimately the family then chose to actually stand on stand their ground, fight against the people once they started coming in, because they did bring back manpower and they did get in. And I think his wife, he gave like 2 guns. He told Charlie to go into the basement, and he stuck around up front. And the people started coming in, but first it goes to Charlie or Charles. You saw he was in the basement. I think Tammy was saying, "Turn your fucking light off, kid." When
That's
we were
what I
watching.
said.
Because
I was like, that light's gonna get him
shining
killed.
light. Well, yeah, that is what almost got him killed. Because someone came down there and almost like shot his ass, but his father ended up saving the day. So he then took him to I think that video room that he was in before, I think. And it's while he was in that video room that he saw the neighbors actually come up and shoot the people outside. And then, of course, the father is in the billiards room, and he gets he lays in wait for the 2. That one of them has an axe, another of them had...
The girl had the axe.
The girl had the axe. The dude had a shotgun, I believe, and he shot him, or yeah, he shot at him. They ducked, and then I believe he dilly dallied over the pool table with them a little bit. I think he shot at the one guy. He actually clipped him. And then she like tumbled with him on the pool table. He realized that she was only a teenager, because I think he like looked at how young they were at one point. Was like, holy shit, they're just kids, you know.
I
That
didn't realize that.
you know. So and
Probably close to his daughter's age.
he shoots her. And then he takes the axe and axes him in his back.
I asked you a question.
And of course, we have a couple of other people show up too. So I think there were like 2 other people that he ended up shooting down, either shooting down or whatnot. Because at first he came in with that gun that looked like a leaf blower, except it was like a...
That was pretty badass gun.
Yeah, it was, because it looked like it packed like a full ass punch. But unfortunately, he gets run into with a knife by the leader of the punks, and he said, "Thank you for your sacrifice." And then, of course, the neighbors, while this fight is going on, the neighbors end up showing up and saving the wife.
And And
from her attackers.
don't forget the daughter saved her mother and father and the daughter too at one point right before the
yeah,
neighbors showed
that
up
was.
too.
Yeah, that's
That was
right.
pretty badass.
Yep. And so
At first, when her boyfriend got shot, it seemed like she was more worried about how her boyfriend was than that the fact that he shot at her father. That kind of made me a little bit mad. Like, dude, just try to kill your father. I don't care who he is. Like, you know.
well, yeah,
I think she was
that-
just kind of in shock. So
Yeah.
just her first thought was, why did you
her
do
first
that?
thought to her love, but then it was like, oh fuck, he almost killed my dad,
Yeah.
But yeah, we did have that happen, and then of course she was hiding underneath when she saw some of the people stop like right before her, and then of course the stabbing of her father. She came. Oh, and she shot dude. She's the one who shot the dude. And that's when the neighbors came.
Didn't Zoe shoot two people, if I remember correctly? I may be wrong, but why do I think she got two of
I
them
think she did.
down?
I think she did too. But that being said, the neighbors came around, and they also, I think, were in on some of the shooting as well. I think they're the ones who shot the dude, but then the sister, I think, shot one of the neighbors.
No,
Uh,
none of the neighbors got shot.
Well,
the neighbors were dealt with by the black guy.
That's
And
right.
yeah, the neighbors stayed alive.
And she
was the
said it's up.
sister-
He was
It was
gonna
the
kill
sister.
them, but he said it's up to you. And she said, "No, I don't want any more killing."
The sister
I
shot
love when she grabbed the blonde chick, and she's like, "I said no one killing." She's like smashed her face into the table. That was probably one of the best scenes. Wow.
Spud out indeed.
She had a runny fucking bloody nose.
Yep. And then when the buzz went off, she's like, "Now get the fuck out of my house." Damn, bitch. She brings her cookies and she tries to kill her.
And I must say, actually, I think it wasn't a good idea for her to spare those neighbors, because during the next purge they would probably come after her.
I don't know. They might have learned their fucking lesson.
Sorry, what did you say?
I said they might have learned their fucking lesson.
Sorry, I still didn't understand.
They might have learned
have fucking learned their lesson.
because that's what she was trying to teach them. That she didn't want any killing to happen.
Yeah, I know, but you think they did learn their lesson?
I don't think so, but it's possible that it might have sunk in for one or two of them. Possible. That doesn't mean that they won't like.
I mean, they
not
were just
try
mad
about.
because
But
he came up with an awesome security system and they bought it. I mean, I just don't get it. I don't get their fucking bitch. Like,
well,
I mean,
neither
she
do I.
came and made cookies. Like they said, "Oh, you're flaunting it." She came and made cookies and stuff for you. Like, she was not acting like a stuck-up rich person. She was fucking very nice and everything. So issues.
Yeah, she was nice, but her husband probably wasn't.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was. He even stopped to talk to the neighbors on the way home before they went to the park. How was that?
Yep.
I mean, checking in on how they're doing. You know,
Exactly. He was
and yet they were
he was
secretly
enabling
planning,
everybody, and it was
planning
just
to
they
kill
were
his
fucking
master.
jealous, so they wanted to make some kind of excuse to why they wanted to do that, but they were just fucking jealous of everything they had. And he even said, like, what was it, a few years ago, we couldn't even pay the rent, and now we have all this stuff here. So, obviously it wasn't even that long ago that he had come up with this system and made all kinds of money from it, But,
Well, yeah, obviously they made out on top because they evidently were able to pay for the rent by him doing this for them. You know. But at the end of the day, Tammy, are you still here?
at the end of the day, I'm not here anymore.
Well, I guess it's just us three then to go through the production aspect of the film. So what did y'all think about the production?
I think it was pretty decent for what the movie needed. Although the story being what it is, it's not like it required. Okay, the killings did require some special effects, which were done decently, I would say. All the devices they had in that house were portrayed quite well. I also liked this baby Terminator doll the boy had. That was pretty cool. uh, uh, what else? Uh, Actually, I think I named it all, but yeah, I think the production was good. I cannot really complain about anything when it comes to that.
Okay. What about you, Cole? What about you, Crow?
Thought the production was fine. Like I said, that gun was pretty badass, and the kills looked pretty realistic, except for like when they're showing the TV and they show like, the Purge done, and they show that like body on the TV. That was totally a dummy. That was like so you could tell it was a fucking dummy. Like that was really bad. But everything else I think was pretty good, pretty good. Well done. Just that one scene, they just kind of thought, well, maybe no one will notice or something. I don't know, because yeah, it's definitely a dummy. He had to be some kind of dummy not to notice that.
I thought the production was pretty good. The house that dude went back to was pretty impressive, at least on the outside. Once they put the purge into effect, it looked like it was pretty secure. I mean, it didn't look like it was going to be like taken down in like 2 seconds, or whatnot. Like it almost seemed like it was, Like it
Well,
did.
I mean, when he has security and stuff, don't think about someone driving a truck into your house,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for regular burglaries, but again with the purge thing, that maybe they should have had a little more security, bars on the windows and shit.
Well, yeah, something on that verge of things. Besides a 20,000 voltage.
Well, he did have some badass fucking guns though. For that last one, like I said, that was a Ernie gun.
Yeah, those guns look pretty unique. So, as far as the outside world, I thought that it was a nice setup with all the radio announcing, the television ship beforehand. I think this one was just so how it can happen with a family like on the inside of the inside of things, and I thought that it was done rather well. I think you definitely knew who the bad guys were, and you also knew, you know, who.
Now I did not realize that the neighbors were going to turn on them. So that was kind of like, ooh, I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I knew someone was going to say them. I just didn't realize it was going to be the dude that they let in.
At first I didn't expect the neighbors would do that, but when they showed up and said something like, "We heard you were in trouble and we came to help," their tones of voices kind of gave away that they were trouble too.
Well, yeah. Oh, don't thank us too much. We only saved you to save you for ourselves.
What do you mean for
Literally.
yourselves?
Well, don't you think we built up enough hate towards you guys? Y'all fought your witches, and y'all built your shit from you know from making money off of us.
Yeah, okay.
We are allowed
That's what makes the world go round, people. He provided a service and you paid him.
Yeah,
How it's
that's
supposed to be.
I don't understand the hatred. So he made a little money off of you guys, made you a little safer, you know.
Yeah.
If you'd have had a problem with the damn thing to begin with, why didn't you just not pay him for it and ignore his ass? You know.
Because they needed it. Because of the fucking Purge.
So bite the hand that feeds you, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, they were just, like I said, they were just jealous assholes, and that's all there was to it. They had no real beef. It was just fucking with jealous.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how throughout the movie, whenever the father has some remarks, some complaints about people, like he complains about Henry not because he might be dangerous, but only because he is older than his daughter. Then he says how this neighbor, Grace, is annoying at the time when she hasn't done anything wrong, as far as we know. And throughout the movie, we are like, you are just being an asshole, but then he turns out to be right about everyone.
Okay, so Nathan Whitehead is the musician behind the composing music of this. What did y'all think about the music?
Didn't notice it.
Sorry, what did you say? Kroll didn't.
He said
I didn't notice it.
Sorry, I still didn't understand.
He didn't notice the music.
Ah, well, actually, kind of, I didn't notice much of it either, except maybe the instrumental in the ending credits, which kind of contributes to the notion that the Purge is not really as good idea as it was suggested in the beginning.
So yeah, Nathan Whitehead. He is a composer for Dark Harvest 3, also known as Scarecrow. So he started out in independent movies, which is funny. That's the boringest of the most boring of the trilogy, and the worst of the trilogy, and yet it's out of print as fuck. I don't know how to tell you about that one. But he also did For Whom He Tolls, a movie called D4, Before the Purge, which I have that one. That's also independent. So this was the first streamlined mainstream film he actually ever did. And then he also did the music for The Purge Anarchy, a movie called The Remaining by the, let's see, 12. I didn't realize there was a 12 rounds 3. I guess he did stuff for that. He composed for an independent movie called The Veil. He composed for the movie Keanu, Election Year, The Purge. Does Not Want Peace, Stephanie, Killing Hasselhoff, Beyond Skyline, Delirium. He's out there. Sarah, and I guess lately he's been doing stuff for the TV series Chicago Party Ant. But I guess there's a video game that he was a composer of called Back for Blood that he did. And he also did some arrangement music for BioShock 2. So he is involved with games a little bit. Next, how about your favorite character and our favorite scenes? So, Boris, go.
My favorite characters, like I said before, it would probably be Zoe and Charlie. Although I did grow quite fond of the black guy too. Although I must say it was kind of predictable that he would be the one to save them in the end. But yeah, he was also really cool. And my favorite scene, it would probably be the moment when Zoe shoots those two burglars to death. That was when I remember cheering the most while watching the movie. So yeah, I guess that would be it. And of course, I did like all the spoodaus we had throughout the movie.
Okay. Well, what about you, Bro?
Yeah, Zoe and the father are two favorite characters, and I actually really like the scene when he shot his friend. Just like it was just kind of unexpected, the friends up there yelling all this music, and then I love how he's just like, I just shot my friend, and you're not my friend. Like it was just like the way he said that. It's just kind of really cool. And my favorite scene, that was like my second. My favorite scene probably at the end, like I said, where she just grabbed her face and just smashed it into the table. And I was like, I said no more killing. Don't you get that? Yeah, it was definitely pretty cool. There was a lot of good death scenes in the movie, though.
Okay. Is that pretty much it then?
Yep.
Okay. As far as my favorite character goes, I'm gonna have to say the black guy. In the end, is my favorite. See, every single one of the family members annoyed me. Even the black guy annoyed me at first. And I think Zoe is another favorite in the end, but she annoyed me.
And why did Zoe annoy you throughout the movie?
Zoe annoyed me because at first, like Crow thought, she
He's more worried about her boyfriend than the fact that he
Yes.
shot her father.
And for a moment, I thought she was, and then she wouldn't come back and stay with the family for some fucking reason.
I think
Charles,
she's just kind of. I think
I
she was
like-
still kind of in shock, and that's all it was.
Charles, I liked the shit that he was doing with his electronic toy.
Yeah, the remote control car camera
But
thing was pretty cool.
once he let the dude in, then I couldn't stand his ass. Then he was in the background.
Well, no, I mean, I
He didn't
thought.
do a damn thing.
I mean, he had a good heart, but
He
So
did,
you, so you basically,
but you got to understand the world, you know.
Oh, I know.
he was
What
a
he did.
child. He didn't have to understand that shit.
Yes, he had to. If you live in that kind of world,
You live in that kind of world, you're gonna have to understand that kind of world.
correct,
Unfortunately, no matter how old you are.
exactly. So I don't fully feel sorry for him, but in any ways, I liked the fact that he was still kind of a kid in this world of everything, but he annoyed me. The father, he annoyed me because once he only annoyed me once he didn't put his foot down with his family about getting that fucker out of there. I understand why the kid did what he did, but if I knew that this annual purge was going on, I understood the fucking rules. That guy could not be in that house. No siree, he couldn't. No matter how bad you feel for him, he had no business being in that house. It's his family. It's his home. That's how I feel. It's not a matter of right and wrong. It's a survival of the fittest, baby. It is a survival of the fittest.
When it comes to that, yeah, generally, though, the father was throughout.
If I didn't have the weapon power to protect this fucker, he has no business in being in my house.
Yeah, as far as that goes, I can somewhat understand that, although.
Somewhat. So you'd rather this whole family fucking die for one fucking human being?
Well, no, but at first I kind of had a problem with how easy he thought it would be to just throw someone out knowing they would get killed. Just
It's
like
that easy.
He was
It's
protecting
them
his
or us.
family.
It's them or us. It's them or us. He had no choice. He
yeah,
was telling them that if he didn't bring them out, they were going to die.
yeah, it's true that he didn't have a choice, but he also didn't have any remorse wasn't showing any
He's
remorse
saving
for
his family.
He's saving his family. What remorse do you want him to give?
Wouldn't you feel at least a little bit bad if you had to throw someone to their
not
death?
if I'm trying
I'm
to save
sure he
my
did feel bad. He just didn't show it.
Not if I'm trying to save my family first. My family, if I were the head of that family, my family comes first. Nobody else. My family. I don't care about it. And that's how I would feel like if this actually happened.
Yeah, that's
about-
true, but would you really not feel even a little bit bad about knowing that you have to do something like that?
Maybe later, but not in the moment.
I mean, you could even tell that he felt bad. He killed Henry, even though it was self-defense. But he didn't have time to sit there and go, "Oh, woe's me, I killed the kid." It was just, shit. I killed the kid, and got to move on.
He was trying to figure out if his daughter was okay.
Exactly. He had too much things to worry about than worry about what he had done. I mean, you could tell he wasn't happy about having to kill
If you had a daughter, if
boyfriend,
you had
but-
a son, if you had a wife that you had to care about, trust me, if you
and
were
2
put in
kids.
a position, if it's them or us, what would you do? Would you, if you love your wife and you love your kids enough, they come first.
Yes, I probably would do the same thing he did, but it would probably be more painful to do it than it was.
You don't know
Than
how
it
painful it
seems.
was for him. I mean, he was doing what he had to do, and like I said, he had to worry about it later. You know,
In this kind of situation,
you
not
don't have
acting,
the luxury of feeling bad at that point.
you don't
You
have
got to
the
do what you got to
luxury
do to
of thinking
survive
about
and make sure your family
anything.
survives.
You don't have the luxury of a conscience in these moments. If you do more thinking than you do acting, then you're not really going to survive in this kind of a world.
Nope.
That's all I'm going to say. You just want to sit there and let them fucking kill you. You know.
But in that case, how did the rest of the family show more remorse about what they were doing to the black guy?
Because he was making all the decisions, and they could afford to be upset about it because he was the man making the decisions.
And they'd never taken part of the purge. They didn't understand the rules because they've never acted in this thing before. They've just been protected for their entire lives, you know, while this purge has been going on. This is the first moment that any of them have been involved in it in any capacity. So they don't understand the right and wrong of things, the consequences of their actions. And that's the thing you got to think about in this world, the consequence of your actions by helping someone else out. You just can't do it in this kind of world, in this capacity, because it's dog eat dog. It's survival of the fittest. They don't care about you. Or they may respect you if you're flying the colors of the new founding father of America colors. They said that we see that you actually
Support the purge. We don't want to kill you, but
we don't want to kill you, but if you get in our way, then we can go into anybody's house that we want to. Although that's not necessarily true, because there are select political factors that apparently in this world cannot be like set upon against or whatever. I guess those that have to do with the founding father or whatever, which is something that we learn as the franchise moves on in the world. I'm just saying, you don't have time in this world to think about having a conscience or think about the right or wrong of things, or specifically the wrong. There is just doing. And if it were my family, I know I wouldn't have problems taking care of my family first. And I probably would do the same damn thing, and the feelings would come later.
Yep. Act now.
Act now. Feel about it later. That is how most soldiers deal with things. That's how they're taught. Most soldiers.
Yeah, I was never a soldier, but that's what I fucking, when my sister fucking burned herself, I didn't sit there and freak. Oh my God, she's burned. No, I just grabbed her, threw her in cold water, clothes and all, and fucking saved her.
Men are supposed to be decision makers. They are. They're supposed to be the ones that go out, hunt the food down for the family, and provide food for his family. And that is what we are meant to do. We are meant to be the foragers. We are meant to go out and help our families survive. We're supposed to be the leaders of our family once we fly the coop, once we move out from our own families to make our own, So, no matter, and this goes for any country. I think if you go out and make your way in this world, if you're a male, you are supposed to be the one that's supposed to go out and, find your own family and marry, have children, leave behind a legacy. And one of the things that you have to do is protect your own, protect your own family. If you care about your family, you protect them, no matter what be, against whatever forces of nature come against your family, and that's what this father tried to do. He had no time to think. He had no time to feel. You think that feelings have something to do with this? Well, you got another thing coming. But in any case, did anyone else have anything else to add about the Purge? I mean, to me, I'm not sure if it would work at the end of the day. Would it definitely be a way of population control? Yes. Do I think there's a lot of people out in this world?
That's what I think that was about. I'm like, it's I think they're doing this just for population control.
I mean, China still does it from time to time. Their own population control thing, or unless that stopped years ago. They would kill off family members that were like under 12 years old at one point in time, just to
Holy
They have a law you can't have more than one kid.
Yeah, you can't have more than one kid or some shit like that. They have a huge population problem where there's
Too many people, not enough area.
Well, that's the thing. When you allow, when people are allowed to populate, they populate, and then, you wonder why we're having
populate like rats over there.
crises. You wonder why we're having food crises. Is because there's way too many people being born, and that's one thing China was trying to control.
Yeah, that's true. But if someone already is born, killing them just because they were born against the rules, that's just fucked up.
Well, it may be fucked up, but China was doing it for many years, and it was just part of their culture.
They were doing that on. You guys ever watched The 100?
I remember.
Great show. I mean, well, they were on a ship, and they just could only support so many people. So, a spaceship.
Who didn't go? I don't think. Did I go? I think I did. So, hopefully, you ladies and gentlemen out there enjoy our discussion on this film. It is a controversial subject, and one wonders what others think, because there are some very extreme minds out there. I kind of think this was born from both political factions, and all of the above. But you can if you liked this movie, let us know down in the comments what you thought of this movie, yay or nay. Just go out and see it if you haven't. It is a very extreme view on what some think the world should be like, or some should not, and kind of a situation that
So who's next?
I believe it will be Boris is next.
I think so, yeah.
Because Tammy was before me, then it's me, then it's Boris, then it's you. So
actually, I do have to think a bit about it, but I will.
Oh my god, I'm shocked.
oh my god.
Uh, but this time I actually will choose my own.
Yeah, please do.
Good. Please don't wait
So
till
that
last second.
so Kroll can suffer.
I don't care what he picks. I've told him that a million times. Just fucking choose.
Yep. Choose. And choose like by Wednesday.
I mention things because he has a habit of not wanting to decide things.
By Wednesday, I want your choice.
Okay, I'll decide by Wednesday.
Okay, good. Okay. Alrighty. Everyone, like, share, and subscribe. Let us know
I
down in
already
the
have my movie chosen, by the way.
okay.
Dave already knows what it is.
Who? Me?
Yeah, I mentioned it last Monday.
Yeah, you probably did.
I know I did.
But in any case, everyone say good night.
Good
Good day.
night
I said good day.
and happy Halloween, everyone.